How's it going, Warriors alike? I'm Myth, the Lalafell in the centre of a hotly contested debate over whether he's left or right wing, which always does me a bamboozle. I'm not even sure myself. It's been a while since I've even done a Criterion dungeon. And today, I have but a simple question. Are you afraid of savage raids? Do you hear the words M6S and immediately feel like you're no longer in a safe space? There is truly a lot of vitriol surrounding the most difficult content this game has to offer, and I'm here to tell you, you're overthinking. And since you're neither my ex nor within arm's reach, you can't slap me for that. I try to read and reply to every comment, and in doing so, I learned two things recently. People will sim for literally anything, and a lot of you genuinely believe Savage is some terrifying gauntlet of sweaty no-life's gatekeeping and unholy rage. You're wrong. Savage is surprisingly approachable, and anyone can do it with patience, perseverance, and practice. And today, I'm going to hide the pain of my mother telling me she just wanted to be friends by giving you guys the tips and tools necessary to soar like majestic eagles, despite the fact you're surrounded by pigeons. Let's go! Right then. First things first, there's a common saying in the British Army: proper planning prevents piss poor performance. You can do it! If you're approaching a hot barmaid who definitely already knows your name, no, it's not Cope Shut Up, you're not going to stroll in flexing your 30 thrusts per minute hip speed. 9 times out of 10, that's not going to work. And no, I can't say 10 out of 10. Daddy issues exist. Let's not lie to ourselves, we're all adults here. Point is, you got to know what you're actually capable of if you want to avoid embarrassing yourself. Disclaimer: I'm not going to be recommending any add-ons in this video. Final Fantasy XIV designs its Savage fights around the capabilities of 8 console players and Party Finder. Add-ons can make things easier, and yeah, some tools can give you a cleaner view of performance, but they're also against the rules, and more importantly, they're just not necessary. If you do use them, I won't judge you, as long as you're not being a dick to others who don't want or need the crutches. So, before you even think about stepping into Savage, you need to pick your target. Don't try to do them all. Don't chase whatever's hot in PF that day. Choose one fight, one goal. Laser focus. Grab your food and pots and check your cheeky little Lalafell ass over to Stone Sky Sea for a quick self-assessment. Here's why this matters. Stone Sky Sea gives you a 3-minute DPS check against a dummy tuned specifically to the fight you've chosen. Can you kill it in time? Boom! That means your gear and rotation are good enough. No more self-doubt. No more "but I can't get the gear yet" nonsense. If the dummy dies, you're not a wall to everyone else. It's not a perfect test. It doesn't check your mechanics or spatial awareness. But at the very basic level, it proves that your character, as built and played, can mathematically do the job. If it lives, don't panic. It doesn't mean you're bad. It just means that check your melds, clean up your opener, do a little light reading. There's a plethora of information out there to help you improve, from the balanced Discord to icy veins, if, like me, you've got a hard time letting go of old WoW habits. The point is, this is your first line of prep. Kill the dummy. Prove to yourself you've got that sauce.
Nice.
Then move on to the real chaos. Next up, watch a guide. Yes, I know. Revolutionary advice. Groundbreaking. You're flawed. But hear me out, not all guides are created equal, and watching one is not just about memorising where to run like you're some kind of sad raid-trained border collie. There's a million strats out there for every fight, often with silly names. Brain Dead, Pepperoni, Cleave Max, Toxic Friends, Myth, I'm leaving you and taking the kit. Wait, why is this in here? Every fight has several solutions, and honestly, they're all valid, but personally, I recommend Hector. Yes, even if you're an absolute raiding newborn who still thinks Uptime is a Final Fantasy mobile game, Hector, in my humble opinion, offers the best breakdowns when it comes to actually understanding the mechanics themselves, not just go left or stand in Narnia during this cast. He tells you what the boss is doing and why it matters. He gets a lot of hate, but that's bound to happen. He's monopolised the fight guide space on YouTube with numbers that would make your average generic guide maker blush. It's mostly just jealousy, but I digress. Here's the magic in that. Even if you've never seen the strat PF is using, and you're running blind like you're skulking through your neighbour's house in the dark because they called your dog a mutt and you're not ready to let that go.
Tell no one!
Understanding the mechanic itself makes it a lot less likely that you'll be getting intimate with a flaw. For example, say there's a mechanic where everyone suddenly runs to the right side of the arena. You've never seen it. Panic sets in. Your soul leaves your body. But then wait, you remember. This is the one with a giant cleave that covers 2/3 of the arena. Doesn't matter what plan they're using, you know why they're doing it. And unless you're a particularly silly sausage, the safe part becomes pretty obvious. If you understand the why, not just the where, you don't need to memorise every diagram and dance step. And if this has been easy to follow so far, be sure to hit that like and subscribe whilst I pause for a moment to talk about something way more important. June is PTSD Awareness Month, and it's a time for us to recognise and support those who are living with post-traumatic stress disorder. PTSD can affect anyone who has experienced a traumatic event, whether it's combat, a natural disaster, an accident, or any other life-altering experience. It's more common than many realise, and it's something that can touch anyone's life, including our friends and loved ones. Raising awareness is the first step towards breaking the stigma and helping those affected find the support they need. And to the silent sufferers, I'm speaking both as a combat veteran with the disorder and as a friend to many in my battalion who lost their battle to it. You are not alone, so please don't try to deal with this on your own. Seek help. Share the weight. You're strong. But you're not invincible. Alright, so, dummy is dead. You've watched a guide. So now you have to make a decision. PF or static. Maybe both, because you love suffering. Now, I actually made a full video on this exact topic. Ding! Links up here in the top corner, like a helpful little mogul. But before you dive in headfirst, like your partner just walked into the room in a towel and it's been a contextual turn on for you since discovering your penis, let's talk a little strategy. Stack first. Let me give you 2 golden rules. 1, do not flex. Play your damn main, whatever they may be. The worst thing you can do is join a static and say, I'll play whatever you need. Then 3 weeks in, you realise you hate their vibes, the healer's a passive-aggressive cryptid, and you've just funneled every single piece of loot into a job you'd rather punch yourself than queue on again. Now you're stuck. Stuck and sad. Don't do it. Stick to the job you love until you know these people aren't weird in a bad way. Save the flexing for later. Ideally next tier, when your emotional stability has respawned and you realise you've found your
family.
That's my girl.
Also, and I cannot stress this enough, 2, match the mentality. If your idea of progression is vibe, chill and eventually clear, don't go near a hardcore static that throws spreadsheets at you and starts sentences fragging like it's Final Fantasy Bootcamp edition. Likewise, if you're the type to bring 7 pages of notes and a flowchart to PF, you're going to lose your mind in a casual static where Jerry forgets the tether mechanic for the 3rd lockout in a row and no one says anything because he's trying his best. Statics will give you more consistency, but a wall will remain a wall for a lot longer and typically there is more drama involved. Not shitting on statics, I'm in one, but in general, when you're failing with the same players week in week out, frustration builds. It's just the truth. Now PF. There's power in PF. It's chaotic good and it'll make or break you. But read the damn description. Every time. Now sometimes the party says full clear. What they mean is we get to phase 2 and everyone explodes like it's sponsored by Michael Bay. Sometimes they say strats from Hector. But what they mean is Hector if he was concussed and speaking in riddles. Know what you're walking into and do not lie about prog. That'll just piss everyone off. But also don't scream prog liar at anyone who makes a mistake earlier than said prog point. Mistakes happen. I exist. And I swear, this patch those words have been used more than Bonnie Blue. Rest in peace, my Google algorithm. Hot tip, your prog point is not the furthest you have gotten into a fight. That's a mistake. Don't make that mistake. Your prog point is the furthest you can get into a fight cleanly and consistently. Unironically, it's why I believe tombstone passport checks are fucking dumb. What? If you're eating ash during M6S desert phase and the rest of the party just so happens to ride the wave to ads, that does not mean you're now progging ad. And this next part's going to get me in trouble, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you want to be judged on your current ability, hide your log. Yes, I am unashamedly recommending that. Because let's be honest, 90% of log/passport checks are just fancy words for I'm secretly filtering for someone to carry me through prog while pretending it's a skill check. And unfortunately, a lot of beans in this community think that number means more than just you did well in a fight. Ask anyone relegated to the rear corner during cleave max at M6S whether their pass fairly reflects their contribution to the fight. Granted, some people will not give you the time of day if they are hidden, so it's up to you to decide whether that trade-off is worth it. I lean yes, and I've never been kicked out of a PF mid-fight. Make of that what you will. PF will give you incredibly flexible raiding hours, but is markedly less consistent. However, you're all a bunch of strangers, and there is no sunk cost fallacy keeping you there if the environment turns miserable. By extension, you're less likely to show up in a Xeno reaction or a pre-trauma time. Now, after all this, the prep, the guides, the dummy beatdown, the agonizing PF versus static decision, you are ready. But before you step into the arena like a sweaty little storm of nerves and keyboard clicks, let me leave you with one golden rule. Mechanics first, damage second. You are no good to anyone, including yourself, if you're checking the floor for lemon pledge after you decided to greed to avoid a damage loss. Being dead is a bigger damage loss, you tool. Learn the fight first. Commit the patterns to muscle memory. Once you're surviving, then and only then start working on optimizing your uptime. Weave in like a demon and living your best life, unless you're a machinist in 7.2. Then just do your thing and pretend that you matter. They'll fix us eventually, right? Because you will get better. Trust me, every wipe is XP, every death is seasoning. Every time you get flung off the arena like a ragdoll in an anime opening, you're learning. And learning is winning, with extra steps. And if you ever start to doubt yourself, join my channel for less than it took my ex-wife to aggressively cheat on me. And remember the inspirational wisdom of one of the greatest philosophers of our time.
When life gets you down, you know what you gotta do?
I don't want to know what you gotta do.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do? We swim.